What's up, y'all? West of the 110 back here in the morning with y'all talk morning buzz before your 6 o'clock hour starts. I had to get it in for y'all. Good morning, Los Angeles. Good morning, down south. Good morning, East Coast. Grand Rising, Grand Entrance, Buick Grand National, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But what's up, y'all, man? It's currently in the upper 50s here in Los Angeles. Expected to be in the 70s today, low 70s, kind of cloudy. We got some rain supposed to be moving in. So you might want to keep an umbrella in the car. Like I always say, keep you an extra bag in the car. Men and women, I call it the in case bag. Some people have an in case bag for BS, in case they get into some bullshit. No, this in case bag, in case anything happens. You might be in the store. You might be in Sam's or Costco's, somebody got a hot dog and bit it and squirted ketchup on you or something like that. You might need some extra clothes in a car so you can go about your day. Also, two word of advice, when you're in the store, men, you got to think with the head on top of your neck, not the one, you know, zipped up down there. If you see an attractive woman walking down the street, look like she got on hundreds of dollars worth of clothes, all this, that. Now, do you automatically think something's wrong? No. She could just be walking to the store. But use your better judgment. A woman will never see an attractive male to them, dressed up flashy, walking down the street. They ain't gonna pull over and talk to him. So you think about that. A lot of y'all dudes will pull over and talk to the first girl y'all see looking like $1 million walking down the street. So, you got to use the same energy towards them as they use towards you and find what you want and what's good for you. But on other notes, man, we got some interesting news here in LA. Some statistics have shown that over 40,000, I ain't gonna say 40,000, let me rephrase that. Over 40% of the homeless people that Mayor Karen Bass got off the street, it's alleged that they went right back. And some people are, kind of in shambles about that because they're saying like a lot of people already know that once you get someone off the street, somebody who's been on the street for years, in reality, them trying to, keep a home and everything, something they haven't had for years, it's not going to work. Some of us have relatives that were homeless that we've housed. It's like, they're not used to rules. Not saying like you have strict rules, but every house has rules. You know what I mean? Common sense. You're going to wash your ass at the end of the night, stuff like that. A lot of them don't do that. A lot of them still, even though they may stay in a space that you give them wherever they live at, whoever houses them. But a lot of them like to live by the tactics that they adapted to while they were on the streets. And one of them being drugs. Not everybody on the streets is drug addicts. I found that out when I was young. When you're young in LA, you see everybody pushing a basket and, late 80s, you tend to, hey, look at that crackhead, and, one of them crackheads humbled us with words, and it wasn't no vulgar words. It wasn't nothing disrespectful, even though we had disrespected him. I'm like, we were little kids, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking younger than teen. We weren't even teen, nowhere near teens yet. Little bad kids running the streets. See, that was a beautiful thing about the late 80s. You could be 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, in groups out there, y'all ripping and running the streets. You have to watch your back. But, I think it's a lot more perversion going on today than it is back then. But this guy told us, he said, man, I don't do drugs, because we were like, hey, crackhead, where you going, crackhead? And he said, look, man, I don't do drugs. Not all of us do drugs out here on the streets. Some of us are on the streets because, a lot of us just fell on bad terms, That's what he said, fell on bad terms. And, he said, just treat people with respect because you never know what they're going through. And, he happened to be like very educated the way he talked and things like that. And so it was actually an eye opener. From a young age, let us know that you don't treat everybody like shit. But back to what I was saying, are you surprised, though, if you live in LA, if you see LA, if you drive through LA, work through LA, or you live in the outskirts cities, those people who live up in, Moreno Valley, Lancaster, Palmdale, San Bernardino, even, going far north, Bakersfield, Vegas, Moreno. I mean, I already said Moreno Valley, like Roseman, Cal City, little places like that. You all these places have seen homeless. You know, these are some of those places mentioned in LA County. LA doesn't just have a homeless problem itself. The city of LA doesn't just have a homeless problem itself. It's LA County. And mind you, California itself has an estimate, I think like 39 million people, close to 40. I think LA County has 10 million of those people. So it's almost close, 25% of the people in California live in LA County. I'm almost certain probably the other 25 more percent live up in a like Frisco, Oakland area, but I say that to say this: LA County has 10 million people documented living in LA County. So what is that saying? You are going to have a lot of homeless people here. And then some people don't realize that, when they say, well, there has to be homeless people, like what they mean by there has to be homeless people, not saying like, oh, they got to be people living on the street. No, that's not what people mean when I hear someone say that. Saying like, if every single person that's an adult, 18 and up, every single person, if they were making $1 million a year or more, if they were like rich, nothing would get done. Who will work? If everybody, as soon as they get 18, they get rich, who will work? You would have nobody working. You would have nobody working as a cashier, nobody washing the cars, nobody even doing the most expensive shit you want people to do. People who make good money, there'll be nobody plumbing, none of that. So companies that do offer those services, they're going to be charging you like $1 million on basic products. Let me get two number 12s at a hamburger stand. They're going to be okay. That's $260,000. People gonna be like, damn, man, they got good prices here. $260,000 for these 2 cheeseburgers. Man, down the street they try to charge you $800,000. So it's just a little reality, a little eye opener for you. Another news too, man. Just some of the crazy stuff I see on the weekend, man. That's what we're gonna do this morning. We're gonna get to the comedy side of this. Stuff that I find hilarious, a lot of other people don't find hilarious. I was driving down the street, I saw 2 homeless people having sex, and I found that funny. You'd see 2 middle-aged homeless people, they don't have a pot to piss in, they not clean, they don't have nothing to eat, nothing, but they find some kind of way to get physical with each other in public, in daylight, on the street, at 80 degrees, on the concrete. I said, that is hilarious. I said, these 2 people said, we're going to sit here and fry our backs on this hot ass cement and sit here and make it happen. And they made it happen. When you talk about hot, sweaty, funky sex, that's probably what that was right there. Hot, sweaty, funky sex. I mean, real funky. Talk about tent funky. And what's crazy though? Like, some of y'all women need to stop fronting. Some of y'all women, y'all be sitting here with these guys. Y'all be walking around in public, with your head all up, trying to show your man that, how to say it, y'all be trying to show your man that, oh yeah, I'm his and I don't look at no other man. Y'all be walking so straight, with your head up. I'll be like, man, stop the act. I could tell that nigga whooping your ass at home. Like for real. Like, some of y'all women need to stop it. Y'all be putting on the front out there like everything peaches and cream. There's help out here. There's a lot of help for men and women. If you want to get out of a bad situation, there's so much help. You know what I mean? Like, you need to snap out of that shit about, I didn't know what to do. All you got to do, what's so crazy? Something that a lot of people probably never thought. A lot of people who end up in abusive situations or relationships. Now, mainly, you got a lot of women who end up in abusive relationships with these no good men that want to put their hands on women. They should be in jail. But something that I found strange was a few stories that I've seen online of women telling their stories. And I'm not talking about women who've been in that situation. I'm just talking in my opinion about stories that women have put online for anybody to see. Now, a few of the women had like pictures, and some even had like documentary videos explaining, even though some actors acted out what they explained. They had a woman saying she couldn't get out of a relationship. And she had video footage of things that they were doing when they would go out, and she was always on the phone. And I said to myself, if you say you were looking for help, and every time, every documented photo you had presented, or video that they came up with in a documentary, you were on a phone. It's so easy to get help now. You on the phone, hit that Google voice microphone and say, "I need help." That's all you have to do. Now, anybody that's in abusive situations, I recommend you get out of it, because if you sticking around letting somebody pound on you, and I'm not talking about men towards women, I'm talking about also women towards men. I had a buddy, man, he shit back in the day, this woman used to smack him around. I used to find that crazy, like, man. So yeah, you do have some abusive women out there that be putting their hands on men. And I ain't talking about like, oh, just loveful taps. Nah, this was a straight out beating. Like, damn, she had about 50 pounds on her, but he wasn't a little dude, but she wasn't a little girl either. And that's another thing too. How you gonna get somewhere in a relationship as a woman if you always trying to show your authority towards your man that's taking care of you? That don't even make no sense to me. Some people are so caught up on showing they strength to their friends, like that conversational strength. Like, I ain't no nigga ever gonna do this to me. Child, that shit don't fly at my house. You can believe me that. They want their friends to look up at them like, oh yeah, I wish I was like such and such. She don't take no shit. Like, why do men want to be? Or I'm saying for both sides. You hear a lot of women say they want to see men show their feminine side, and you got a lot of men out here showing their feminine side like damn fools. Like I didn't even know a man had a feminine side. Like that was something that was tripping me out. Women, I like a man that's in touch with his feminine side. So you mean you want a man that's it's almost safe to say that has been thinking about possibly being homosexual. I mean, if that's what your cup of tea is, I mean, I know some women who like dating bisexual men, to each his own. That's what you want, eh? But there's just like women who feel like they like men want a masculine woman. I don't know what man want a masculine woman. That's something that always tripped me out right there. Um, There's no way you can. I mean, me personally, just my opinion. Whatever floats your boat, that's you. Just in my opinion, we're all entitled to our opinion. Not here to offend anybody, but just in my opinion, if I weren't married, if I'm a 21-year-old guy on the street looking for a woman to date, I'm not finna be out there looking for the woman that could stand toe to toe with me, who want to show me that, oh, you ain't shit. I don't need you. Even though I'm with you, I still want to let you know if I wasn't with you, I don't need you. Like, what type of shit is that? I mean, are some people delusional? Do you find that? Do you find that as a turn on, as a woman telling a man what you make, what you do, what you did, what you can do? I'm getting so sick and tired of seeing this shit or hearing this shit on TV, especially one video I seen on YouTube where there was this butch stud. She was, like you say, playing the bully role, got the crowd in the store with her talking that shit. What, dude? What? So it was an older homeless guy, sort of heavy set guy. He minded his business, like, man. And she just, what? Everybody there talking about, yeah, this ain't her name, but, they like, oh, yeah, such and such, Bernie's gonna get him. Get him, Bernie, shit like that. That's not the name of the person, just for example. And I guess the homeless guy got tired of it. The stud, put her hands on the man. He was just standing there, didn't even talk back. She was pulling on the show the whole time. Then got balls enough. I guess her girlfriend talked her into it, so she went over there and pushed the motherfucker. Like, what? Man, that homeless dude toe off in her ass. I'm talking about. I mean, first punch, she was going limp, like you were just sitting there. You look like some heavyset dude that just did 25 years in jail, prison. That's how you were looking, like, some straight butch guy. But as soon as a real man and he ain't even about that life or nothing like that, just the strength of a man. He put that swing on you first, you just, and that motherfucker kept swinging. But he didn't get arrested because she started with him. She put her hands on him first, and he didn't do anything to her. So guess who went to jail after getting their ass whooped? But that shit tripped me out, man. I said, you know what? Some people need to snap back into reality. Um, Men shouldn't be out here picking no fights with women at all. But women, you shouldn't be out here picking no fights with no man, because this ain't no 1950s. Like me, I got sons. I don't encourage my sons at all to hit no women, because I got daughters. You better not put your fucking hands on no woman. But you don't let no woman sit there and slap you around. Some of these girls think they bold. I see that shit right now. I seen a little girl the other day on the street slap a boy, like junior high school kids. I guess the little boy, they were going at it, not like that, just back and forth. We're not kids snap and joke on each other in junior high school. I guess she couldn't take it and just haul off and slap the boy. I'm talking about wow. Everybody was like, "Ooh," and old boy was just shocked, because it was like, I could tell the hit didn't phase him, but the embarrassment of it was like, you gonna slap me in front of all these people, and then you walk away like you done did something. But luckily, that little boy had a sister. I'm glad the little boy had a sister, and the boy was like, I think the sister was younger than them. The boy looked like he had to be probably eighth grade, maybe seventh, eighth grade. Girl, maybe same grade, but the sister was like in the sixth grade. Not little, but you could tell she was younger than him. But she ran up like about 2 minutes later and said, like, I don't know what the hell it happened. But all you see is this little girl, her buddy running, you gonna put your hands. I'm like, damn, how you find out that quick? Well, it was a crowd, and people did run back to where, towards the school. So somebody probably told her, and man, that little girl toe off in that girl, you put your hands on my brother. That little girl beat the hell out that girl. But I say, it's just sticking up for her brother. He didn't, I could tell he was raised right, because he could have, literally, it wasn't even that type of argument where, someone get heated where a little boy be disrespecting, oh, F you, you be, and there wasn't none of that. They were just going back and forth, got a little loud, then she just, hogs back. I'm talking about grown up slap. I was like, man, if that was Ike Turner, but little sister got his back. Kudos to them. I'm a different type of person. Like, some people say, I'm not for violence. That ain't violence. That's a good old fist fight. Shit, let the kids fight. Leave weapons out of it. No knives, no guns. Good old fist fight. 2 weeks later, they all gonna be friends. They at the same school. More than likely, they gonna be cool. Probably be friends the rest of their life. That's how it normally used to go. But back then, it wasn't like that. Like I say, I tell a lot of people, it's a lot of stuff that we avoided, and a lot of stuff that we didn't get a chance to do, not because we didn't want to, it's because we couldn't. A lot of the areas you grew up in sectioned you off, even if you didn't want to be. Some areas put you in a place to where you only had certain options. I tell you, wised up. I think one of the best things that some of us could have ever done growing up in South Central Los Angeles back in the day was not be in a gang. I'm gonna say that again. Was not, because everybody grew up in LA, had some gang, or they listen to some people online talking about, oh, if you don't live there, you affiliates. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody that affiliate shit. Like, a lot of people look at certain podcasts, like, ain't no secret, 4 extras in them. I went to manual arts, so shit, I went to school in they hood, in like the Foley's hood. But I didn't grow up in the Foley's hood. I grew up in a blood neighborhood. So it made no sense for me to gang bang. I said, why the hell would I gang bang in a neighborhood, and I'm going to a school that's the opposite of them? So my best deal was to just stay out of that shit completely, which we did. And nobody really messed with us behind that. So when a lot of people speak of that non-affiliate stuff, oh, you affiliated because you live over there. No, it ain't, man. Like, get out of here with that shit. Because some of them people know there's some cats in their hood who ain't affiliated with them, that they've been pressing since day one. Even though some of them dudes might be 30, 40, maybe grown up now, they ain't pressing them. But it's like they used to give them heat because they didn't want to join their hood. So it's like, when you say non-affiliates, it's like, show me one person in your hood that been living there for years You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know you can show me one person in your hood that's been living there for years that ain't never associated with no gang ties. I bet you that. Every hood has people like that. People that been living there their whole life. Just see people, hello, how you doing? Know who, know them. May have grew up with these people. Some of these people start going to left. Some went right. So you can't say everybody is affiliated through the neighborhood. Nah, because some people been catching hell from the hood they live in and the hood they went to school at because they didn't want to be affiliated with either one of them. But my thing is, a lot of people need to get off of that bullshit anyway. Like, why are people still gang banging? That's a good question. I mean, like for real, why are you still gang banging? Now you have gang members. They have people that have been put on gangs and associated, affiliated with that gang. But like, why are people still out here actively gang banging? Like for real. Like I seen a video the other day where I don't know if it's true or not, but there was some guy who traveled from the Midwest out to Los Angeles to get put on a gang or something. And he's like, if I'm not mistaken, like already grown. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's you, man, teach his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much stuff going on in the world, and there's so many things against you already as a black person. I ain't gonna even say as a black person. So many things against you as a broke black person, a broke white person, a broke Hispanic person here in America. That why would you want to put yourself in a situation where you're limiting yourself even more? So a lot of people don't know solutions. A lot of people don't want to come up with solutions. Hey, what's the solution? I mean, I got an easy solution that may be starting off temporary. Why don't some of these people or some of these top gang leaders have a meeting with, maybe some city controllers, associates, because I see people say, why not? Well, why would we do that? Some of y'all OGs out here already working with the police on the grid program. So, I mean, you might as well sit down with somebody, come up with a better solution than that. Me personally, I don't see what the fuck you getting out of you're supposed to be, this is my opinion. If you're supposed to be a gang, which some politicians consider some local gangs organization as terrorism, why would you want members of it working with police officers? So that's how a lot of the gang members look at it. But me just from the outside looking in, just knowing the rules of the street. So I say that if you have some of the most hardcore older guys willing to sit down and work hand in hand with police through communication, why not come up with a better solution? Get those guys to go through their neighborhoods to see who has some real potential in something. Hey, like boxing. You got so many hoods in here. Why don't they set up a boxing team? Make money off of them. You know what I'm saying? Get them to train they fighters, and the money that they win, they can put that money into their neighborhoods to create some stuff. You know what I mean? If like say for instance, like an Aiden Ross event, if they want to host, like remember back in the days, like through music, they had the Banging on Wax, the Bloods and the Crips get on music. That actually worked for a while. Some people actually found some fame off that, but it was just too much street stuff going on. Now put it on a competitive level, like Aiden Ross. Some get these, like a top fighter from certain hoods. You're popular. You got the Rolling 60s out here. The Brams, the Inglewood families, A-Trade gangsters. You got gangs like that out here. Get some popular fighters from these neighborhoods, train them, work with a city funded program. You gotta register your team, physical stuff like that. You're gonna have one person who's a representative, maybe a city of organization through the city, that's gonna be in charge of that camp. But the camp has their own trainer and everything, but somebody oversees that camp. They come to the fights. You winner of the fight, that team gets such and such. This money is diverted to something in the neighborhood. Maybe they could put say for instance, in one of the still predominantly black neighborhoods around the Manchester and Western area. which we all know around the St. Andrews Park area is a popular location of the A-Tray gangsters. Now, say for instance, if they had a fighter that won, just saying for instance, if they in that neighborhood, it's a pretty big, it covers a lot of area. They could put like senior citizens, they could put like a senior citizens building like a coffee shop in the morning where they can come drink coffee, play cards, read the newspaper, like what's that called? Not a shelter, but like a stop-in shop for senior citizen community center, something like that. Maybe an arcade center for the kids in that neighborhood, because you got to think about the kids in that neighborhood. You got a lot of kids in that neighborhood who want to do stuff, but a lot of them can't, even though they're not affiliated with their people, know where they live at. So if they get seen somewhere else, they might get retaliated against behind some stuff that they're not even a part of. So, I mean, that's just me. That's just an opinion I have. I always think boxing is a way, a lot of people in gangs always want to let out anger, put up a boxing team. You got 3 or 4 different weight classes. You can get 4 fighters. Set up some events, get some sponsorship, keep the kids from off the street beefing. Say, how do you get everybody else involved? Because there's other things they can do. You need people to train, but you're gonna have a gym there. You're gonna need people there to work, help clean up the inside, outside. You want to keep people in. Then some of the people in your neighborhood, you can get them to sign up at a gym. That could be something you could put in the neighborhood. They get, get some sponsorship, put some gyms in these neighborhoods. I ain't talking about no gymnasiums, or you could utilize the gymnasiums in the neighborhoods already. Add boxing to the gymnasiums. They have them in East LA. I used to work at the city of Los Angeles back in the day. We used to service a park over in East LA. I want to say, in the Boyle Heights area off Griffin somewhere. There's a center that has a number of boxing equipment for the city of Los Angeles, over in the Hispanic neighborhood. They don't have that in the black neighborhood. I know that. Why don't you put that over here? Don't get me wrong. Some of the best fighters in throughout time in America, heavyweights, have been black people. Lightweights, middleweights have been black people. Don't get me wrong. We've had all different types of champs. All different types of boxers from back in the day to today. Chavez, Duran. Oh man, Duran, hard hitting Duran. So don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to keep this sport going, let's keep some of the youth into it. I don't see not one boxing ring in the black communities, in the gymnasiums offered by the city, like they're offering the other locations and other areas where they aren't blacks. So that's something that they should take into consideration, I feel. But as far as like the homeless situation in LA, I don't know. From the numbers, just going off the numbers, I don't think Karen Bass is succeeding in the numbers, because statistics show that she's housed people, but statistics also show that those people she housed are back on the street. So like I commented on a post I seen on Facebook. That's how I seen some of the information about that before I read up on it myself. And I will say this, that most of the people that you're going to try to house off the street in LA, a lot of them are, on drugs. So you're trying to house people that really don't want to be told what to do. Is not going to work. And also, what about the people in LA living check to check? The people that's still working, taxes being taken out, some of that money of theirs is going to house homeless. What about those people? I think LA should divert that money to the people, working people who may be in the process of losing their home or losing, finna be kicked out of an apartment or something like that. Why don't you try to keep people from going homeless rather than house people who are homeless? I think somebody who's trying to keep what they have, is easier to help them keep what they have rather than to house a whole family from off the street, starting from the ground up. That's a lot of money. And not just a lot of physicalness, there's a lot of mental stuff too. A lot of people not prepared for that. Some people have been out without for so long. Some people have never had anything, believe it or not. Some people have been on the street since they, got old enough. As soon as they hit 18, some parents kicked them out. Couldn't, hey, I can't take care of no grown up. You're on your own now. And some people have been living on the street for 10, 15 years, never had a house, never had, ain't, how do I say it? Some people have been sleeping outside longer than they've been in a bed. Some of their parents kicked them out when they got old enough. Some been homeless for 20 years. So you're trying to put some people in housing that really, some of them don't have the mental capacity to even upkeep a home. Some people wouldn't even know where to go, what to do. Hell, you got some people that don't even know how to make themselves something to eat. So you got to take all this stuff into consideration. Then you got an Olympic coming this round. Come on, man. So I hope LA don't turn into a laughing stock. I hope it doesn't. Also, on a wider note, I see the ceasefire in Iran is kind of on shaky grounds, because if I'm not mistaken, Israel is still attacking Lebanon, and I think Iran's saying that's like, what the hell's going on? But if I'm not mistaken, from the sounds of it, it's like, maybe America's like, we're talking about us. Hell, we have nothing to do with Israel and Lebanon. But I hope that gets taken care of. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in a lot of politicians. I look at what they're trying to do and where they're going. I'm still trying to figure out where President Trump is headed with this. But I mean, tell you the truth, if you really look at the big picture, for some of you conspiracy theorists, some people always think negative. There could be a lot of positive out of this, tell you the truth. Like for America, if you know the numbers and the assets that America is in control of right now, this could swing in favor for America if you really are paying attention to what's going on behind closed doors. Say possibility. Just saying that because everybody always think negative. Oh, nothing positive comes out of nothing. You never know, man. Like we what's positively been coming out of shit for us for when? Did Obama do it? Did Biden do it? No. I'm not saying did Trump do it his first term? No. Did the Bushes do it? No. So I mean, the way stuff is going now, a lot of stuff that's happening, a lot of people never seen this type of shit before. So I mean, it's something we never seen. I mean, hell, let's see if it works. Nothing else has seemed to work. So let's see if this shit works. I mean, at the end of the day, hell, taxpayers, we're gonna pay for it anyway. So shit, let's see if it works. But like I say, man, this is a Jog Talk Morning Buzz. I was just coming to y'all this morning. With a little information. Like I say, y'all can tap in if you want to be a guest on this show. Just send me a DM on any one of these sites. Hit up want some new music, check my stuff out online. I got some shit that you would like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I speak multiple languages, so I'm pretty sure I could use some words that you can use and get encouraged by. Like, share, subscribe to the show, follow us, send us some stars on Facebook. Like I say before, man, only way people make it is through support. You know what I mean? And don't be one of those people that don't want to support. And then when you see somebody taking off, like I seen somebody did this shit to me a while ago. Like, now mind you, I started doing music in the early 2000s. Honestly, like 99, but officially like early 2000s. But somebody had screenshotted a MySpace picture and a comment or a conversation and sent it to me like about a year or so ago. It was like, hey, you remember me? I'm like, hell no. And like, yeah, I was one of your fans on MySpace back in the day. I was just saying hello, man. I still had to. And I was saying to myself, man, this shit was like over 20 years ago. I said, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say this: don't be one of them people. Don't be screenshotting shit, or don't be saving stuff to come back years later in case somebody make it to say I was there from day one, man. If you're gonna show support, do it now. Because tell you the truth, man, not everybody think the same. I'm not a revengeful person, but I don't forget shit. Trust me, I don't forget shit. So if you think you got over on somebody, you didn't. Because I probably know it. I know it. I ain't gonna say probably. I do know it. It's always better to fly right. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like Denzel in Flight.